Welcome to this week's edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And Coach, Tigers taking on Monmouth this past Saturday, a team that had a 2-1 record in the CAA. And boy, did you guys come out on fire. 11-1 with 12:55 remaining in the second quarter. But from that point on, things changed a little bit. You did win 15-10, but you were outscored 4-2 in the second half. What changed in the first 17 minutes and the final 43 minutes?
Not quite sure. Been talking to the team about that. Again, really loved the way we started, no doubt.
Your ball movement was as good as it's been in I don't know for how long.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting doorstep shots and then layups for goals, which was great. And then, no doubt, Monmouth adjusted. They pressed a little bit on the adjacents, made it harder for us offensively to spin the ball. They crashed. They were tighter inside, making us work a little bit more on the perimeter, get those shots off. But yeah, we went from shooting 40+% in the first 20 minutes of that game to 8% basically the rest of the game. So that was definitely a frustrating piece coming out of it, but really loved the way that our guys rode and competed. I thought the middle of the field and ground ball play we really were sharp on as well. So a little bit of a misnomer for us, kind of the tale of the two offensive outputs there. But happy that we were able to pump enough in to earn the win.
And you had the previous week against Drexel, you came out on fire also, took a 6-1 lead. The prior 2 weeks in games that you did win, you started off slowly but came back to win. So now, the last couple of weeks, you have come out on fire. If you could put together the way you started the last 2 weeks and finish the way you did the prior 2 weeks, you guys really be dangerous.
Yeah, and that's what we're focusing on. It is playing a complete game, understanding what that takes, not just the effort, but also the focus and staying fundamentally sound and the communication, tying it all together. That's the thing that we're really looking to do. I think our guys are understanding of that. It's pretty evident when we talk about it and we go through it on the film. So again, just taking it possession by possession, understanding how we can be successful, in each one of those.
Now, one thing we did see this week that we had not seen in the previous 9 games, and that's number 29, Ronan Fitzpatrick, came back from an injury he suffered in the offseason, and just like that, scores a goal. And the way your team reacted to that was amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was awesome. Coach Musey did a great job dialing up a play to get him a good look early, and I mean, he hammered it. And like I said, just the way the team responded. I thought we were going to get a bench decorum, penalty to give them possession, which I would have been fine with. I was like, in the moment, I was like, all right, guys, kind of get back. But I was like, forget it. We should be celebrating that. And our guys have been that way. The whole year. You'll hear it in practice. You feel it in practice. And we've had guys, banged up and coming back from injury and different things. And they're, it's just awesome to feel how much support they have for each other and how much excitement they have for each other, knowing that, an individual success leads to our success overall. And it's just fun. 21
straight conference wins now. Joaquin Villagomez, once again winning CAA Offensive Player of the Week. He had 3 goals. Mikey had 3 goals. Roussel, 2 goals, 3 assists. So, boy, you're getting production out of that attack.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's good to see that balance and those guys. Again, we talked about kind of the first 20 and then the last 40 not being our best. But, those guys playing aggressive, but also sharing the ball and being alert and aware of each other and, all the offensive guys, working together.
You now head to Hampton to take on the Pirates. They have not won a game this year. They have scored in double digits 3 times, so they have shown at times that they can be potent on offense.
Yeah, they've, you can see their improvement from last year to this year, a new head coach, watching their films, watching their game against Monmouth when we were preparing for Monmouth and seeing what Hampton was doing and everything. There's definitely, more organization, skill level. They're definitely taking good steps forward. I mean, they had, I thought one of the most highlight-worthy goals, with a guy dodging behind the cage, one-handed, flip pass to a guy on the wing who just hammers a shot, right off the crossbar and into the goal. It was something you should see on SportsCenter. So again, they're definitely increasing their level of play.
They also have been fairly good on extra mans, 38%. But you guys, you have not been penalized much at all. In this past game, there wasn't a flag.
Yeah, neither team.
Have you ever seen that?
I don't know.
Whole game with no flags?
I don't think the refs should get a paycheck. If they're not throwing a flag, they haven't done their job. I think it was a game we had against Loyola one year. Delaware. It was actually a conference game against Delaware. We walked away from a regular season game against Delaware. Neither team had a flag. I told the refs, I was like, I don't know if you were actually here today. That just doesn't happen, right?
Dinner reservations they had to get to.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Want that game to roll. But I didn't recognize it during the game. But then I saw the stat sheet, and neither team had a man of possession. So.
Two guys to look out for Hampton. Anthony Bardinell has 26 goals and 9 assists, and Malik Wood 21 goals and 9 assists. So a couple of guys that can put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, and they're athletic, and they can break you down, and they're sharing the ball well. Again, they're continuing to put the pieces together. And again, our guys, like every game, we got to come out prepared and working hard to play it our best. And that's again something we're going to continue to focus on. Every possession, every opportunity, we want to be able to play our best to continue to work towards putting a complete game together.
All right, so the Tigers will take on the Pirates Saturday at high noon. Look out for Matt Burnham. 2 years ago, 5 goals against Hampton. Last year, 6 goals against Hampton. I'm sure he's looking forward to this week.
All right.
As are all the Tigers, looking for consecutive win number 22 in conference play. For the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report.